Hey kids and kiddos, I'm going to take a look back at some of the books that I picked up in Montreal at MCAF, the FBDM. This video is brought to you by The Unpredictable Olivia C., my comic book that is available now. First 3 issues, new issue out in July. First off, a book by Jim Monroe and Saul Good Sam. Saul Good Sam has worked for all the big comic companies and does his own stuff, and he's dabbled in animation. His mom grew up with a mom working in animation. I really enjoyed tabling near him, tabled right next to Jonathan Rothstein from Toronto. Botman is his pornographic Batman book that he did with his friend Patterson. He's also got a lot of great stuff about Judaism. Check out Self-Loving Jew. It was a real joy to table next to Jonathan for 3 days in Montreal and chat about life and love and comics. Jordan is a friend of Jonathan's who came in for the show and just kind of hung out with us, and is also one of the people who runs the Canadian Comics Open Library, and that was his zine with his Fret character. Sven is also another character from Ontario, and we did a trade for some books, and it's just incredible, beautiful, sad, real like kind of tone poem, but also narrative pieces. Really dug. And Kat was there. Shout out to her. She was watching Sven's table for the first day, and then hung out all weekend. And she is a artist in her own right. A.T. Pratt. So Andy's from New York and was actually in Toronto a few tables over at TCAF when I was tabling at TCAF, but never went over and introduced myself, and Andy became part of our crew in tent C19. These are all people that I tented with in Montreal here. Andy's stuff, it's incredible. He's literally like in his belt he'll have like the long stapler, a couple pairs of scissors, like he's working away, cutting and DIY making this stuff at his table while people are coming by. About 80,000 people came by in Montreal apparently over the course of 3 days. It was hot, it was beautiful, so check out all of Andy's stuff. Like, yeah, it's this beautiful hand-drawn artwork and then hand-printed zines, mini comics, and cutout pieces as well. And just a hell of a guy who goes to like every show. And in between Andy and I was this children's book publisher, and I fell in love with this little rabbit book we called Comme de Géant, and yeah, really just love this book so much. I picked up a copy of it for my niece, and then when I told the publisher that I was like, oh, I might not give this to my niece. I might keep it for myself. And she just gave me another copy, which was a very lovely gesture. So yeah, check out all the books from this publisher look incredible. And then Jacques Bevin came by, and he was not tabling, but he was just kind of checking things out. And Jonathan's a big fan of his, and they started talking about these melody books. And then the next 2 days, Jacques came by, helping Jonathan to fill out the holes in his collection. This is it's a bit of a risque book. It's about a real life sex worker, based on her stuff. And then Jacques also gave me this beautiful little print here, and we traded for some. I gave him some trading cards for my Olivia C. characters. He is not online. And then there was this dude walking by wearing a Hardcore Logo t-shirt, and I shouted, "Hey, Hardcore Logo, that's one of my favorite movies, if not my very favorite movie." And we chatted about Hardcore Logo for a minute, and then we did a trade. And his name is Sid Church, and he's got, like, it's super funny. It's very, very raw, but also like not raw in the sense that it's sloppy, but just like raw in the sense that like it's like that gritty, raw, like it's all it needs to be type of thing. And I love it, and it's fun, and it's dark, and it's very cool. So check out Sid Church online. And then Cole Pauls came by. I'm familiar with Cole's work. He's a musician as well. He was at VanCaf. I didn't get a chance to meet him, but we did a trade for some stuff. He's got like this is a zine about indigenous culture in comics and how certain things have been co-opted, but also celebrated. So you have like the Jeff Lemire or Downey book in there. You got Superman with a little cultural appropriation. And then I believe Cole is coming to Winnipeg in the fall as well for Prairie Comics Fest. So if you're in Winnipeg like me, you can check out his work in person. I highly recommend it. So yeah, lots of like there's critical work, there's fiction, there's illustration, there's a lot going on with Cole's stuff here. So yeah, give his work a check out at Tundra Wizard. And then his partner Kristen, she also wanted to do a trade and has like these beautiful textiles, multimedia type zines, just like the love and care put into these, like the printing. Look at this, like the die cut around the around the website there. And I love that everyone still has like official websites and stuff too. Like I know I do. I still appreciate a good art website, and I appreciate that is look at this sticker. Like it's holographic. It's super cool. And then I met Kyle in Vancouver. They were doing a panel talk and introduced myself, and then was able to have a chance. And that was like right at the end of VanCAF. But then went over and got myself a signed copy of Kettle Harbor, Kyle's debut graphic novel. And it's just beautiful hand-drawn work, and there's some sort of, I don't know if it's ink wash or pen or paint or what it is there, but it's a 90% black and white book. It's sad, it's sweet, it's funny, and it's out via Conundrum Press, so check that out. Conundrum, kind of the Canadian Fantagraphics, if you will. Also out from Conundrum, Joe Ullman was there. I met Joe at TCAF in Toronto, and we had a lovely chat. And then Conundrum was there as well, but they were in Montreal. And I met Andy Brown, the publisher, and he gave me that little mini comic that he did there with Joe, and I was able to pick up 2 of Joe's Conundrum books that I didn't have, and he was gracious enough to have another chat with me and take the time to draw me in there. There I am with my Daniel Johnston hat and my scraggly beard and my glasses. I love it. I really cherish that drawing that Joe did for me on the spot right there, and he also did one in here for me of this is a kind of an alien conspiracy book. So there's that. Joe's stuff is really fun. It's really sad. It's really real. Fictional father and midlife are both, they really spoke to me about various things in my life. I haven't read these yet, and I haven't read The Abominable Mr. Seabrook yet either, but I picked this one up when I popped into the Drawn and Quarterly shop. A nice signed copy there. So yeah, Joe's stuff is out on Conundrum and D&Q. And then I also at the Drawn and Quarterly shop, I picked up these Joe Matt books. I haven't read any Joe Matt, but I love Chester Brown and I love Seth, and he is part of that holy trinity. They all draw each other into their books. So I'm very excited to see how Joe represents Chester and Seth in his work. He mostly posts about cats on Instagram. But and then here's just a few more books that I picked up at the Drawn and Quarterly store. I love Rutu Modan and Julie Doucet. Rutu Modan book Tunnels, just really incredible. I don't know this cartoonist, but the cover grabbed me and I flipped through and just really dug the work. And they had a few of their books there, but just checked out that one. Girl Walks Home Alone at Night, obviously an indie comic turned into an indie film. And then Paul B. Rainey's latest Why Don't You Love Me, just a gorgeous work. I was following Paul, was serializing it all on Instagram, and I was reading along, and then I was like, no, I want to read this all as one piece in the proper book, the way that Paul intended. But I love how it's all laid out like Sunday strips, and Paul actually like hand lettered each title because he wanted all the pages to exist on their own. And also in Montreal at MCAF, there was just some tables that were just selling comics and stuff. So I actually have 2 copies of this as a trade paperback, but this beautiful hardcover edition for $25. I couldn't resist. The coloring, I wish it was more flat colors instead of like that shaded color, but dig it. And then I went to this comic book shop, and I picked up a couple of French copies of there wasn't much I was into, but I am working on a Daredevil run, so I grabbed some Daredevil and Elektra. And then just these higher numbered GI Joes are always hard to find, so that was really nice to pick up a couple there. And working on the Wolverine proper volume 2, and then Marvel Comics Presents Wolverine run as well. I don't really know if I should pick up the ones in between the Wolverine issues, because it's mostly Wolverine series. But then there's also, like, Havoc and Ghost Rider and all these other guys. But anyways, this video has been brought to you by The Unpredictable Olivia C. Issue 1, 2, and 3 out now. Issue 4 coming out in July alongside the single Minister of Loneliness. Thanks so much for checking the videos out. You can find me online at Nicholastronaut. You can order these books via nicholastronaut.bigcartel.com. The link is in the description, as always. And I'm really this one starts a new series called American Youth, a new mini series. And thanks so much for watching.